Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. Live Music Nation Podcast Festival and Event Edition. Today I am with Amy Doherty. How are you, Amy?
I am great. It's good to be here.
Good, good. Amy, give us a little background on you. Where'd you grow up? Talk a little bit about your family and career, and then we'll jump into some of your events.
Awesome. I grew up in South Mississippi. I am from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and went to the University of Southern Mississippi, which then gave me my first taste of event planning. As a sorority girl, I helped plan our largest nonprofit fundraiser every year that was called Chi Omega Song Fest. Little did I know that would lead to a career, but it was
Yeah.
a good way to get started there. My husband moved us to Georgia in 1995 for this big thing called the Atlanta Olympics. My husband's company had the privilege of being an Olympic supplier. So we moved here not knowing how long we would actually stay in this area. When we picked to move to Georgia, a coworker of mine in Mississippi had told us that we should look at Suwanee, Georgia, because that was where the Falcons had a training camp. So literally made it this way because of the Atlanta Falcons. Whoever thought that could happen? But we picked Suwanee, Georgia at that time. Little did we know that a couple of years later, the Falcons would move away from Suwanee, but we did manage to call it home. We have lived here since 1995, and we have 3 children that we brought into Suwanee, Georgia, and have been born and raised here. I started working for the city of Suwanee 18 years ago. I cannot
Wow.
believe I've been here that long. But before that, I volunteered for the city at the annual Fall Festival. And then I served on a couple of other planning committees, and just started enjoying being part of this community. And my husband one time just looked at me and said, "They have a job opening for events. You should apply for it, and then you'll just get paid for what you're going to do anyway." And that was 18 years ago.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, I'm glad you found your calling. That's always nice to have in your pocket, to be doing what you love and what you're good at, for sure. All right, Amy, let's jump in. Let's talk about some of your major events for the late summer and early fall.
So the city of Suwanee, we actually host over 45 events a year in our park. Some of those are planned and organized by the city. That's everything from food truck Fridays to movie nights to the annual fall festival, and a big August concert. We have an August concert every year where we bring in some fun music. We've been doing that for the 19 years the park has been open. This summer in August, we'll be hosting Sister Hazel as our headliner for that concert. And then in September, we have our fall festival, which is called Suwanee Fest. It is our 2-day fall festival, 50,000 attendees, about 200 booths, lots of fun, free things for families to do. It is by far our biggest event. We also have events that, our event season around here, I feel like it starts in February with 5K runs and races, a half marathon, a couple of weekends away from our annual Glow in the Park festival. So we really do have a lot of events here, some organized by the city, some privately organized. One of our biggest events that we're known for that is not organized by the city is the Suwanee Beer Festival, which is the #1 beer festival in the country, as voted on by USA Today.
Wow. How did that happen?
It's a great beer festival, and they have a publicity machine to get the word out about that. They were probably about 6,000 tickets sold this year. It's definitely one of those things that if you are a beer drinker, you should be in Suwanee that weekend around St. Patrick's Day.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. All right, Amy, let's talk about a couple of the events that you have going on. Let's first talk about your concert there in August. For people that have never been to Suwanee before, when they show up, I always ask these 3 questions. What is it going to look like? What is it going to smell like, meaning food? And 3, what is it going to sound like, meaning environment and music, etc.
So with all of our events that are to a larger scale, which for us is anything over 5,000 people, we always have shuttle parking, and it's always free to use. Our website is suwanee.com, and we do post links to our parking maps as well as our shuttle schedules and times. For our August concert specifically, that usually is going to start about 6 o'clock. We usually have a few local opening bands before our headliner takes the stage around 8 o'clock. Sometimes it may be as late as 8:30. We, as a matter of fact, just yesterday picked food trucks for this event and other good things to eat and drink. So we're in a unique situation in Suwanee where you can purchase beer and wine in the park at these events if that's what you want to do, or you can go to any of our local restaurants and establishments that just are within our park boundary and take drinks to go as well. So it is definitely something where you come here and you're not going to feel fenced in or boxed out of being able to get to the things that you still want to see and do. We are in a live, work, play park. We have a brewery across the street from our park, so you can buy beer from there to go and bring it over as well. We picked, I want to say it's 10 food trucks for this event, so there'll be plenty of hot food options, and then some great music, as well as Sister Hazel, who has been here at least 2 other times and one of my favorite groups to have in Suwanee.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Yeah, very cool. Amy, what do you think is the best part of your job? Let's talk about your job.
I used to jokingly tell people it was because I always found good parking spaces since I was the first one in. So I never had to worry about a shuttle or anything like that because I was always here so many hours before that. But I like to say I'm in the memory making business. So what I provide people is the memories of their hometown, and hopefully the memories that they want to come back and relive, and or bring family and friends back to see. So I'm here to give people memories that they take from their hometown, and when they look back on their life, they remember being in a parade, being on stage, dancing to a band, playing in the fountain, any of those types of things that make people feel good and nostalgic about their hometown.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay, 2 fun questions. I always ask these at every interview because I am in live music. I tour full time, so I always like to get your opinion and see what's kind of triggering for you. Best concert you've ever been to, Amy? What would you say that was?
Oh goodness! So the first concert I ever went to was Willie Nelson. So everything I've ever been to has had to live up to Willie Nelson. My parents took me and my brother. We were super young, but it was amazing at the time. But I grew up in the '80s. I'm a Casey Kasem girl, and most of my friends know this. I've probably seen Rick Springfield in concert over a dozen times.
Fantastic.
I'm a fun '80s girl, so I love some good fun music. But
yes.
Live music is always better than anything you can listen to in the car. It's an experience, and again, it's one of those memory-making things. Most people won't tell you about a song they necessarily heard in the car, but they can relive an experience at a concert, and that's what live music does for us.
Yep. No, that's exactly, you couldn't have said it better. Okay, dead or alive, you could bring one musical act or artist to your city. Who would you bring?
Okay, that's a good one. We love Cowboy Mouth and we love Sister Hazel. Those are 2 groups that have been here several times. They're so family friendly. They appreciate the music business. We've dealt with some artists that don't appreciate the music business or the people that have to work to get them to those venues, but those guys get it. And they also get meet and greets and meeting with fans. Toad the Wet Sprockets, another band that comes to mind, that they let people enjoy the music, the moment, the memory. People can buy a concert ticket, but when they have a chance to take a picture with the artist or meet them, that's a true connection to that music and that experience. And I think some of the bands that we've had here before, they get that, and they want to give people that extra memory, that extra special moment of being with the artist. And that's the kind of bands that we look for. Yeah, no, that makes great sense. Okay, last question. How do people find out more about what's going on in Suwanee, Georgia? Suwanee.com is our website. Our website, we were one of the first cities to actually get a domain. So Suwanee.com happens to be our website because we've had that forever. We do an excellent job on our website communicating that. We also are on all the social media channels, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, probably not TikTok yet, but City of Suwanee, and then City of Suwanee City Hall seems to be the ones that are the official handles for us. We do a lot of good updates. You can even sign up on our website to get our regular e-newsletter as well. But we're super proud of what we do here in Suwanee, and we'd love to invite you to come and join us. Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you so much for being on with us, Amy. I appreciate it. Thank you. You bet. Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle